And morning coffee time. There has been a lot of traffic noise. I have big roads on either side, basically. I was very, very happy to have my earplugs last night. Jen would have absolutely loved this camp. That ditch over there has water in it. And when I came up to this, there were these big frogs that were just leaping all over the place. And last night, when I got into the tent, one came by and kicked my water bottle as it was headed for the water. So I've always carried earplugs with me, usually the big foam orange ones, because Jen has a tendency to snore sometimes, and that makes it hard to sleep. But it's hard to wear earplugs because of my tinnitus, so I just can't win, and yada yada. Better or worse, this time I switched to these little loop earplugs that I had heard about. They've actually worked pretty well. They kind of fit in the ear better. They go into the cavity of your ear and you twist them around. So I seem to be able to sleep in them a little easier, and they don't pop out like the foam ones in the middle of the night. Other than the trucks on the other side, this really was the perfect little site back here. Ironically, since I have to wait for the post office to open, I could have justified that stealth site in front of the tunnel, but I'm trying to get my daily goal above 22 instead of just above 20. I need to keep moving it up, and ideally I will be 25 plus. It is just a crapshoot sometimes, so that's what it feels like. I've had off and on chafing issues, have to use the butt paste, and I actually had to tape my heel because randomly at the end of the day yesterday I ended up with a rub spot that I didn't even notice till I was in the tent. Team just not that good at this. Also, there's nothing like putting on clothing in the morning that has been simmering in humidity and sweat for the last week or so. Last time I was able to get everything clean was Philippi, and at that last hotel there wasn't shampoo or anything, so I just rinsed stuff off. That only does so much. As of this morning, I'm about 40 miles away from the Ohio border. I still haven't quite decided how I'm going to handle, stay overnight in Parkersburg or try and push on. I'm just gonna play today by ear, get as many miles as I can, hopefully do a full day. There does look like there is a trail angel of some sort on the far side of Parkersburg. I do not have a sense for when the Buckeye or any of the kind of public land areas start. I have struggled off and on with identifying stealth campability of areas. Some areas are, trivial, like right here. I could be up on either of those platforms, no worries. But a lot of this has been farmland or houses, and there's often not a lot of room in between. If I arrive after dark and then leave before dawn, obviously the chances of having any trouble are lower, though farm areas people do start getting going early, and I have had some encounters along rural roads where sometimes people go out there to just sit there and drink, and then you get the angry drunk factor. Somebody on the ECT had a 2x4 thrown through their tent late at night. In general, though, I need to start playing it a little looser with campsites. I don't want to be consistently giving up miles I could otherwise have done. This just gets so much easier out west. You're generally more spread out versus some of these states. Theoretically, there may be some rain today. Plus side, it's going to cool off a little bit. And then I think tomorrow's sunny, and then the day after that is when the bigger storm is supposed to hit. We'll see if it hits 50 plus miles that away. Somebody left a comment saying some of these dump truck looking things that have been buzzing by at high speed, they get paid by the load. So they are incentivized to basically drive like a madman, everything short of actually having an accident. So that explains a little bit. Though honestly, those don't bother me as much as the vehicles and motorcycles with the modified mufflers. Those just get painful. And the extra scumbag factor is, of course, a lot of times you can see them wearing headphones or earplugs so it doesn't blow their eardrums out. Or they're blaring some sort of music loud enough that you can hear it from a half mile away. So it's basically the a-holes with Bluetooth speakers writ large and around a whole lot more people. Yeah. In retrospect, I wouldn't have had Jen send a box here if we'd known just how many restaurants were so easily accessible. Feels funny because the C&O, I kind of assumed, oh yeah, there'd be places to eat. Generally, you had to go across the river or divert a fair distance. And here it's been things that at least seem to me to be basically right on the trail. Things like boxes, though, we have to decide on all but 2 weeks ahead of time to safely get them there. The worst thing ever is you miss a delivery. See that stove Dennis sent me last year in Grants. So we often have to kind of try and read the tea leaves. In general, I would rather buy as I go until I get to those more remote sections where, oh, okay, I have a 5 to 7 day food carry and I need to make sure what I have is as compact and dense in calories as possible. And here we go. Here we go. And this was a first. They actually made me fill out a form for general delivery I'd never seen before. See, I say I don't want boxes, and then I get all excited when I get all the things I really want. Oh, I have way too many dinners for a while. But I was almost out of coffee. While I can and will complain bitterly about the extra weight, at least I'm keeping my no Dollar General, no Northside streak alive. Actually, I think I had one Northside since I started this trail. And here I go, just in time for the rain to start. I actually asked the post office if there was any place with better coffee than McDonald's around town. And her response was, eh. So, a bit more food and weight than I would prefer to have on my back, but at least I get some good stuff. Jen is awesome about tracking down whatever I'm currently not burned out of. I also grabbed a little bit of extra coffee, McDonald's coffee, but beats a gas station usually. This is just one of those not enough coffee in the universe mornings. From what I can see on the map, it looks like this end of the rail trail is a bit more developed than that first section. If I want to do about 22 miles, I can even camp right by a bathroom, apparently. Luxury. I just seem to inspire people to get out and mow for whatever reason. Of course. one of my big annoyances is having to take my pack off to pull things out or put things on. I've tried various like attachment points for trekking poles and things, but the best I've found is basically just setting the umbrella up there. They did have a diner back there, but I couldn't justify eating with this much food on my back. If they looked like they'd had coffee, that might have done it, because I am dragging today. But a little over 10 miles in already. Good to have an umbrella. I finally did it and walked off from my trekking poles. I set everything down for a minute just to put my jacket on, and then it started raining hard. So much for getting good miles today. I don't know how far back they are, but I can't just leave them. It's probably just a mile or so. Damn it. Oh, I can't believe this. It took me about 12 minutes of walking fast to get back. I never do crap like this. Hey, guy. Tunnel fog. Yeah, this is the sort of day Jen should have been here for. She would have been having a much better day than I am right now. Hey, guy. And welcome to the eloquently named petroleum. So it took me a little while, but I was able to find somebody who would fill me up with water. And it is suddenly feeling like it is going to start raining again, just about as I got dried out. Probably sitting there for about a half hour until that one gentleman came home and I was able to ask him for water. There was one other house where I could tell somebody was home, but they were screaming and yelling angrily, and I kind of decided I didn't want to approach that. And the guy that filled up my water, he said, yeah, probably best that you didn't. Apparently they are known for being that way. So I chatted with that guy while he was filling up my water. Apparently the tap water out here is a little iffy, so bottled and filtered. And he was saying, when I first approached him, he said, are you a hiker? And seemed a little unsure. Apparently they have some issues with transients coming through here. And they don't normally bother anybody, but some of those houses back there, they were squatting in and causing some issues. I really need to make it another 5 miles or so, ideally. But I've just been having all sorts of troubles today. Started with the chafing, and then during the rain I started having heel issues, so I've had to stop to tape things and try and adjust things. And this, of course, after 550 some miles. It's not like I changed boots or anything. It is what it is. And of course it's raining again. I'm just hoping to get close enough to Parkersburg where I can get in, ideally by 5, 6 o'clock at the latest, do laundry, get food, and just have a little bit of a mini reset. Just having some laundry and a reasonable shower where I can actually scrub everything will probably help enough where I can keep moving. I do have a few trail angels ahead in Ohio, including one who has new shoes, new socks, things like that for me. But that's still going to be another 90 miles or so from where I am, I think. That was partially cool and partially creepy. This is a long one. Hey! That fog basically started up partway through. Cool effect. I saw a note on Hiking America. This is the second longest of the tunnels. Okay. That day could have gone smoother, but it is what it is. Within range of the border, I managed to deal with all the chafing and foot issues well enough to make, 22 some miles. So I have about 12 more miles in the morning of the rail trail, at which point I have another 6 miles of roads through Parkersburg and onto Ohio. I'll probably do about 4 of those miles and then get a hotel, unless when I get back into contact, Jen has some other plan for me. Because at the moment, everything is kind of filthy. I haven't been able to really clean everything since Philippi. Rinsing them in a sink did a little bit, but I was just exploring behind the campsite looking for a place to camp, and looks like secret tunnel. And not feeling like climbing around over a cave-in today. Yeah, I've been looking for a better campsite, but all I see is evidence of campfires.